Greetings, Earthlings. I have another update from the Absurdium for you. Now, before I get to what I want to talk about today, I thought it might be a good idea just to give some context with regard to Israel and their complete inability to adhere to any kind of UN resolution or ceasefire agreement. So, they killed a child in central Gaza. That's during the ceasefire. They blew up a house with a family in it in Jenin. They blew up a sewage treatment facility in southern Lebanon and have built 7 bases inside Syria, even though they've allegedly started pulling out. Now, 6 of those are inside the buffer zone that Netanyahu no longer recognizes because that was made with the former administration of Syria, which is not true. It was enforced by the UN. It doesn't matter who the governing body is of Syria. That's a resolution made by the UN, not between Israel and a specific government of Syria. Now, if my map skills are accurate, I recognize where one of those bases is. And it's very close to Katana. And it's not very far from Meza, the Air Force base. So it's literally no more than 2 kilometers outside of the governance of Damascus. And the reason why I want you to go over that first is because many of you may be aware that Trump has just reiterated on live TV that the Palestinians should be removed from Gaza with this ridiculous notion of them getting to return in 5 years' time. Now, the point is that there are many Palestinians that are waiting for the right to return to their land. It's never going to happen. Okay, this is absolute bullshit. And all of Israel's neighbors know that this is the case. And just to illustrate this point, I have a piece here from the Middle East Eye, and it's entitled, "Jordan Ready for War with Israel if Palestinians are expelled into its territory." Trump's call to clear out Gaza has sparked anger in Amman, with well-placed sources telling the Middle East Eye that the US ally is prepared for war. Jordan is ready to declare war on Israel in the event that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attempts to forcibly expel Palestinians into its territory, Middle East Eye understands. The warning comes in the wake of repeated statements from US President Donald Trump that he would like to see Jordan and Egypt take Palestinians as part of a move to clean out the Gaza Strip. Now, they've turned Jenin into a ghost town in the West Bank as well. So this is not just Gaza. They are attempting to remove all of them. This is absolutely illegal under international law and will just be another in a long line of violations of international law by Israel since 1948. Now, at some point, you have to ask yourself, if the carrot isn't working, when do we use the stick? Because Israel doesn't respond to diplomacy. It only responds to hard power. And this is going to come to a head with Lebanon because the people are now starting to resist the IDF in southern Lebanon. And they're calling out the US for not giving them the equipment for their army in order to be able to deal with what is now an illegal occupation again. And they expect Hezbollah to just stand idly by and do nothing. At some point, Hezbollah is going to reactivate. And then they'll be accused of being terrorists and criminals. It's simply not true. Hezbollah wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the 1982 invasion of Lebanon by Israel. It took them 18 years to get them out. Okay, Hezbollah wasn't formed until 1985. Hamas only exists as a resistance group. If you destroy Hamas, another resistance group will come in its place, just with different leadership. If you offer an occupied people no peaceful solution, they will take up arms. And it is codified that they are allowed to take up arms. And anybody who tells you any different is lying, and they don't know international law. Even Mahatma Gandhi, though he was an advocate for peace, he was very clear that should your entire people be placed under threat, you are a coward if you don't take up arms. At some point, the international community is going to have to respond with force. Soft power isn't working. We need to go to command power when it comes to Israel.